Hello, everybody. Welcome to I Womanhood. This is Aida speaking. Um, Part two to how I began my journey on this in particular holistic healing journey, because this journey is particular to healing from breast cancer. Okay, so I am here sharing. I'm still on the journey. Okay, and if you listen to the last video, you'll see how that all started for me. And there's a lot to unpack here. Um, but now I just want to show you one of the first books that someone suggested, and this was really, really helpful. And here it is, How to Starve Cancer. This is by Jane McEllen. Okay, I got it on audio. I ordered it from Amazon. I listened to it, and as I was listening to it, I was like, no, I need the book because I need to understand these terms. I need to take notes, and so that's really helpful. I've always been one to write and highlight in my books, anyways. So that's why my husband doesn't like me to, well, he doesn't mind sharing his books with me as long as I don't write and highlight in them. But this has been a really, really good resource. It's a start. There's a lot of resources out there. This is a good start. This was a good start for me. Jane McEllen. And I mean, this was over 20 years ago, and she's still doing very well. And she went through at least 3 rounds of chemo, which, if you don't know about chemo, it's really hard on the body, and we can talk about that at a whole nother time. So, as I've stated in previous video, I haven't taken any of those routes. Okay, I'm still on this journey. Okay, I am choosing to do this holistically without much of the conventional interventions. Okay, and I also stated in the last video why, part of why I made that decision. So, this book got me off to a really good start. In this book, she creates some pathways to whatever particular type of cancer, how to attack it. And so, if you haven't heard of Thomas Seyfried, he's a really active professor right now, doing a lot of research on how to starve cancer as a metabolic disease. So, and he basically talks about cancer loving glucose and glutamate. You want to look that up. You want to follow him. You can follow him on YouTube. He also has a book. And so I know that there's a lot of there's glutamine, glutamate, glutathione. I know glutathione is a supplement that I take that's also made in the body that provides a lot of antioxidants for like liver cleansing. That's one that I now take. So it's not that one. So you do want to go find out for yourself. Always do your own research, okay? But what I wanted to talk about is why I cut out the sugars also, was because cancer loves the sugars, the glucose. Okay, so this is also why people with diabetes are also more prone to get cancer. But here's another kicker. So Thomas Seyfried, in the same as Jane McEllen, they're talking about using the conventional methods together with some alternative methods. Okay, so it's not excluding conventional routes at all. It's bringing it together and using some of these other drugs that really don't cost a lot, like metformin, to help starve cancer. Okay. And it's a lot more gentle on the body. Okay. Because chemo tends to wipe out the body. So it's going to attack any fast dividing cell in the body. And so that's whether it's good or bad. Like um, it's much like when you have to take a antibiotic. It's much like when you have to take an antibiotic, and if you've heard about how that antibiotic will kill the virus, but it's also going to kill all your good and bad bacteria, right? So you have to replenish with probiotics and prebiotics. So it's that way with radiation and chemo. You have to replenish the body. So there can be a lot of damage done from chemo itself. So, this is a great, great start, this book, because it's not for the faint of heart, to go against what traditional doctors think, and many, many more since her time have been educated. The vast majority of conventional doctors still aren't taking in a lot of alternative methods, and I think that's just because there's a system in place. Um, but there are many doctors out there who will help people to find gentler methods. There are also a lot of clinics. These are all various different videos that we can and things we can talk about at various times. So that was really that's the first book that I started off in this journey this year, along with changing my lifestyle, my diet. And then I talked about the mind coaching of how I looked at things, the something to nothing, believing, the prayers of believing that this will be a nothing, you know? And then I went on, it took me a little while, but then I went on to gather my support system, my community of friends, my prayer warriors, and I stay in contact with them. Once my doctors found out that I wasn't going to take all the traditional methods, they offered things like therapy, and I'm like, yes, let's do that, you know? So I'm seeing a therapist just to kind of unpack things. I am meditating way more frequently. I've learned how to meditate, also for healing, and not doing anything perfectly, but there's a lot of progress. Oh, okay, and I'll end with this. So, after, so in the beginning, I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. Okay, looks pretty bad. And then a month later, so I started detoxing my own body, and I showed you the things that I started with. I completely changed my diet. I went to the mindset retreat. I went to the meditation retreat, and I started detoxing my body, and all this started pouring out of me. And that detox felt like death. Okay, I told you that. I mentioned that in the last video. And I'm very, 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 very grateful. Okay, so now, and mind you, I'm still in this process. So I felt week, I did, and throughout that process. And so by the time I got the biopsy, and then I went back to the doctor about a week after the biopsy, and I was talking to my oncologist. She's like, so you're probably not at a 4. She was baffled. She said, you're probably not at a 4. Maybe you're at a high 2 or 3. And so that was progress to me. And I just continued to take it and run with it. And Lord, I'm I'm determined, and every day I gather my strength, I gather my prayers. I'm grateful for my support system. I continue to educate myself, and this sharing this with you all, to give you hope that there are other ways. And I was looking for channels. I've seen Chris Beats Cancer. I want to watch more of his videos because he has a lot of information out also. So I want to dive more into his story. I've talked about Bill Henderson. These are just some people that you can look into who have their own stories. Jane McEllen, it has a phenomenal story and she's extremely helpful. So I haven't seen anything out there from a woman my age. And first of all, I joined a holistic healing group on Facebook, and there were so many young women, moms, so many. And from once you start to research it, it's becoming more and more of an epidemic, this whole cancer thing, and more of why we need to pay attention of our hormones, because I did mention that I thought I just had PMS. So the type that I've been diagnosed with is, we found out that it's driven by estrogen. I don't have any genetics of it. Okay. So hormones is a whole nother topic of why we want to pay attention to our hormones and the things that are affecting them, including our lifestyle, our diet, the cosmetics that we use, the hair products that we use, plastics, things that we're putting in the dishwasher, aluminum pans, all those kind of things that are endocrine disruptors, and they act as like estrogens in our body, and they really get our hormones out of whack, put an imbalance in our bodies as well as our children. So this is why we want to kind of get back to what is the root of the issue, as well as changing our lifestyle. You know, everything, even the conventional ways, all the medicines, the medications that the doctors use and give us, they all began with something, even chemo, it all began with something that God already put here on this earth. And so that's why I believe that there is already natural ways of healing the body. And they're out here. People are already doing it. So I just want to encourage others along, and thank you for coming along this journey with me. Yeah, for all the minority women out there who want a gentler way of healing, I'm here. I'm here with you. So drop a comment, share if this helps anyone. And I'm looking forward to continuing to being successful in this journey. And until next time, grace and peace.